go on ahead.
Dimming the lantern.
You ever wonder if it's unhealthy to carry a lantern full of lost souls?
You mean like if I keep at it, they're gonna do something worse and give me nightmares?
I suppose we're past the point of unhealthy.
I see you pulled Ngati's Chosen from the guild hall. Akira, but have you pried any secrets from the gullet yet? Maya, I hope you do not judge our fair city too harshly.
What? Look, keep your business where it belongs, with the captain.
Undercroft, a darker, more fetid lair of Nekataka, I say. Onikaza and I are the mind and heart of the city, but the bowels, these we cannot reach. What say? Did Ngati's Chosen learn anything from the voyage below?
My prince, I have always known those who pray for Ngati's favor, but only now do I see those who depend on it.
Akira, I say that a feather of Amira's wisdom drifted down to find you. At least Delva's Row is a stable target. The Crown has time to decide the next steps. I learned in the arena never to underestimate an advantage. For now, it is enough that I know where they bring in goods. What say? You hit upon my curiosity. Speak on. You are quick to come to their defense, but the Raparu must recall their place in society. If the black market will expend its resources toward the Raparu, then I say they have bought an easy truce. Delver's Row is safe, for now. Be sure that I do not regret this. To Kehu, I say that no one wanted to hear your suspicions confirmed.
Hakara, me least of all, my prince.
When it comes to the dignity of the guild, the crown can compromise nothing. Onikaza will see their leadership disciplined, I say. Onikaza and I both expect more from the guild, I say. She will not be pleased. Akira, but at least you returned to me in one piece. You are not the first agent I sent to the gullet, but you are the first to return. I say I would feel safe anywhere with Rauatai's sharpest weapon in my arsenal.
If you're trying to flatter me, stop taking notes from my brother the poet.
I cannot say that I desire to send you to worse places than the gullet, but... does the name Ukaizo mean anything to you?
It was the island capital of the Huana Empire of old. A fable, they say.
Fable? No. History, I say. Ukaizo was the home of the Huana before cataclysm and destruction wiped the island from the Deadfire. That is the story. Story or no, I make no secret that we search for Ukaizo. I do not share this lightly, I say.
Please, speak on. If it looks like I'm taking notes, it's because I am.
Should I leave this in the hands of someone I trust instead? Kira, I should hope so. Our tribes are spread across many isles, but it is Ukaizo which binds us. Ukaizo, and the knowledge that we must return. To that end, a local cartographer secured a lead, a breadcrumb to a breadcrumb, I say. I sent an expedition to Matario Kozi, one of the Sanctuary Isles. They were to retrieve evidence of our lost homeland. They have yet to return. They were sites where our ancestors grouped in terms of crisis. Constants in changing seas. You have the cartographer Atepo to thank. He wanders the Western Shrine if you would know more. The Sanctuary Isles give comfort and guidance to sailors on the long journey home. I am hoping the island can remember its purpose and return us to the home we lost. A question for those with years to gather reeds and scribe their thoughts. It might be that someone or something on the island does not wish to be found. In better times than these, I would have been happy to oblige. The trading companies would not have thought to look for Matario Kozi, but now they are vultures to carrion. I do not doubt that our rivals race for the same thing, all while we fall behind. Akira, then you are ready to depart? Naturally, I say, my sister remembers her friends. I remember her enemies. To Kehu, I trust you are going? I want the tribes to know that Ngati's Chosen stood among those who threw open the gates of Ukaizo.
I make no promises of dirtying my hands in some fetid jungle, but I do not protest a calm voyage.
Before you go,
That did seem like too nice a way to end it.
the expedition, I have reason to believe they will not be returning to Nekataka. We found this at the palace doorstep, cut from the robe of the expedition leader. One mystery heaped on another, I say. If you learn in your travels, I hope you will tell me. The crown has grown too accustomed to warnings, I say. terror. That is something, I say. Take care if you alight on Matario Cozy. My fear is that the island is sanctuary no more. Prepare yourself for a hard voyage northeast of Nekataka. Matario Cozy is nestled in the Kua Rakuhu Islands, in the midst of a landmass that resembles a storm, like the fall of Ukaizo locked in time.
Don't mind me as I take down those coordinates.
Certain death it is, then.
A Tepu, drawer of maps. I have nothing to sell unless you are needing something else. What I discovered remains to be seen. The Sanctuary Isles were thought to be lost beneath the waves. If I stumbled upon one, I can think of worse finds to credit my name. Our ancestors marked off specific islands across Deadfire as rallying points in case a great misfortune split up the tribes. Even they could not have guessed how important the Isles would become. Some thousands of years ago, volcanoes, storms, and quakes shook the archipelago. Any one of those do happen, but never with such ferocity or all at once. The Huana survived by taking shelter on the Sanctuary Isles to save our society, and not just any one tribe. Since those days, we have not found any of the old Sanctuary Isles. Ngati took some beneath the waves, taking whole tribes with her. Others were lost to time and forgetfulness. I am told that the Wahaki are protective toward the Isles, but that is their business. I was surveying the waters around an atoll when a storm dragged my ship off course. The waters were unknown to me. When a green fleck appeared in my spyglass, I unfurled my sail. The shore twisted around itself, confusing even this old navigator until I found myself at the center. I did not make it far up the beach before I spotted signs of habitation. Marking my coordinates and orienting myself by the evening sky, I made for Nekataka to tell the crown of my findings. Understand, the Deadfire was broken. The lives lost could not be counted, and more has been forgotten than may ever be remembered. Imagine how much history we lost in a single year, much less the millennia that followed. Whatever our people hoped for themselves, we may never know if we got it right or wrong. Death. I did not mean to frighten you. These islands have known great tragedy, and millennia have passed in cheerless silence. Should you land on a sanctuary isle, do not expect to find welcome. If we must. There is not a Huana in all of the Deadfire who does not take to the open water hoping to catch a glimpse of the lost Ukaizo. If I could walk the beaches of our ancestors, take a fleeting glimpse of what they left behind, mine would be a life well lived. The same thing we all hope for, answers to the long silence that precedes our history. Who we were could tell us who we are. But if I am being selfish, maps, charts. Our ancestors were keen explorers, and a roll of their parchment could teach us more than what we have gathered in the last century.
Do not leave me in suspense, I say. Have you found Matario Cozy? If you have questions, the royal brother will hear you. Ikera, both topics I know well. My sister would say that Ukaizo is the birth canal of the tribes, and we are destined to return and discover ourselves again. Ask Onikaza if you would know more. She is the family historian. I am the family arsenal. It is the same in the city as anywhere in the Deadfire. Mataru judge our souls at birth and organize us for the survival of the tribe. I am not the first to say it, but Nekataka has more walls than beaches, more roads than clearings, and more people than fish. Nowhere in the city does a Raparu sit around the same fire as a Mataru. Nekataka tests our traditions, I say. You speak as if it is not. Our ancestors built this place. We are the hermit crab who occupies a fallen shell. It is for my sister and her priest to judge the fit. Akira, as the largest and most prosperous of the Deadfire tribes, the Kahanga have some authority to speak for the others. I say Onikaza and I are large stones in a tide pool, standing tall as the water rises to our necks. My sister has mastered the diplomat's tongue, and I am foolish to give her frustrations a loud voice. But Ikera, I pray every day that Ngati tests the outsiders against her tallest waves and longest serpents.
The ocean is a few monsters short since the Armada showed up. I think we passed your fish god's trial.
Quite so, Maya. We agree on much, I say. The prosperity of the Huana, our burden to appease the gods. In the trading companies, Onikaza sees Worika testing us, weighing who deserves the isles. I see Ngate sending krakens of gold and iron against our ship, but arming us with a single harpoon. The gods will judge us by our persistence and our grace before foes. Do not leave me in suspense if you have questions. The shortage. Are the Raparu not fed the leavings of the Kwaru and Mataru? It is no wonder how Delver's Row won the love of my people, I say, by feeding them when we could not. Find us solutions instead of old problems, I say. Ikira, for what would she sit on her hands if she had the time? Or the resources? The tribes beyond our city look to her as well, and the problems are as numerous as fish in the sea. Again, you bring this up. Speak on, I say. If you have more to say, I am not above listening.
candles and bombs. Shining God, light your path, stranger. Can I interest you in any of our wares? We gathered what we could. Much of our coin goes towards feeding those in need over at the temple. Thank you, sir.
We will witness a new beginning.
Is there anything the Watcher does not see? We have both seen the worst of the city. How the Reparo cluster like sea rats. Delver's Row will take care of them for a time, but I say the Crown will not suffer the Principe for long. How did the stone walls and paved lanes of Neketaka divide us so? You have walked the length of Neketaka's spine. How would you serve the needs of all these people at once? You think that something in the great pattern of Neketaka does not align with the Hawana way? I was hard-pressed to find insight like yours in Pariki's Overlook.
So it is you. I could not think of a reason why your ghost should haunt the Deadfire, save to haunt me. And that smacks of arrogance. Sister. And why do these spirits follow you? More blood on your hands? We were never friends, I know, but when they told me your keep was destroyed, I was sorry to think that you were dead. I did in time, once I thought I'd summoned up the words to explain what happened in the White March. None of it made much sense to the Regency, but my men stood by me. If I was mad, so were they. When the priest spoke of Aethys' return, I volunteered to come, along with a few of my men. I think the Morning Council was content to have me out of the way. That's putting it all very simply. But then, I suspect few of us have simple reasons for coming to the Deadfire. So, his appearance has renewed your faith as well. I think for once I am content to wait. If our God wishes to speak with us, wishes anything of us, he will give us a sign. The priests pray daily for it. I would know if he has a plan for Raid Saris.
Seem to remember he already had one. Just wasn't any good.
Yes, play the jealous child. All you knew of his plan was that you weren't part of it.
Aethys had something he wanted to get done, and he chose Raid Saris to pay the price. Yet here you are, begging for more. Say what you want about dear Woodens, but at least they got a will of their own.
You're right. That was uncalled for. I apologize. I don't know. I came here on a pilgrimage of a kind. Nekataka is full of spirits. And the sea, where to begin?
Self-loathing is a blight on the soul, Adaric. Don't make your journey through hell darker than it has to be.
You're right, of course, sister. You are a watcher still, yet you are neither mad nor killed. It's good to see. The cure you sought, and which I was weak enough to doubt. See, there. Determination will win out every time. And now you are on to new challenges. That sword was only meant to keep you alive through your ordeal. It's fulfilled its purpose. Each missive from the Deadfire raises new tumult. Some believe our Lord restored, while others doubt. We've done penance for many long years. None of us know what forgiveness ought to look like.
It doesn't seem like Aethys has his mind on forgiveness these days.
Take care, and may the shining God light your way.
It's you.
Dawn hears your prayers, surely as I do. Jody, I do hope you are not getting into trouble now.
Who, me? No, I wouldn't dream of it.
Do swine stink like shit? I'm guessing you're not here to worship. Then what can I do for you? If Petley sent you, then you've got my ear. But I won't promise what I can't fulfill. We tried. Shipped some shares for charity. God, it's nearly 2 years back. Had the means to do some real good. But the guards wouldn't have it. Sent it all to the palace to be shared out, proper-like. Never did see it again. Well, sure. I'd be beside myself for a chance to help the Ruparu, but... And I mean no offense. I don't know you, stranger. Some folk don't think twice about taking advantage of us faithful. Maybe you're one of them, and I'd be none the wiser. An offering to Aethys could really help our efforts to restore the temple, if you know what I mean. Much obliged for your generosity, friend. Of course, we'd be glad to lend a hand. But how'll you see our shares reach the Ruparu this time? What makes you think it'll work now when it didn't then? All right. You wind up in the good graces of the Kahanga Royals, you get them to see the light, and I'll get you our food. It is the light that has led you here.
That something is happening.
Oh, yes. People are afraid, angry. Change can be frightening. But what did any of us come here for, if not a new beginning? No more than anywhere else. No sense fighting it. The water sustains our faith, surely as it does these trees.
Gone's the only one that matters.
The Shining God's got many faces, but they're all his to wear. Divine King Widewind, he saw the dawn stars, telling him of things to come. But it's gone with sickle and lantern that's come to the Deadfire. Our God's returned, and he's gonna bring balance to the world. He's gonna right all the wrongs we have suffered. Gone will bring a new beginning for all of us when that hour comes. We receive followers of the Shining God every day. You might want to speak with Nordegand over there. She's been here the longest, and takes care to know everyone of our faith.
Not a problem.
I can't believe it. Is that really you? And Adair, you made it out of Gilded Vale for good then. I'm glad.
A lot more might have made it out if you hadn't left them for dead.
I haven't forgotten. It's why I'm here, Adair. I kept to my word. I started trying to help around town like you told me. When the Hollowborn curse ended, it was like... You can't imagine what that meant to everyone. We had some good years. Then word came through that the Dawn Stars were coming out here, that the Shattered God was back to being the Shining God. Blazes, I tossed and turned about it. I figured there couldn't be a clearer sign. So now I'm doing what I can, handing out food mostly, or delivering supplies. Familiar work, I guess. Took some getting used to, working shoulder to shoulder with Raid Sarens, but it's not so hard as you'd think. Feels like I'm on the right path, toward a little piece of redemption, maybe. You too, eh? Don't know what you have to be sorry for. Would be nice to get some answers, maybe. Or forgiveness for getting his people killed. I don't know. Doing my best, Lord.
Here for a meal? Just get in line, dear. Ain't no trick to it.
Hey, there's a lady I'm looking for. Came from Deerwood. Short, got a bad temper. It goes by Alava Mazzy. Heard of her?
I know an Alava, but that ain't a surname.
No?
Not real warm, that one. Stop by unannounced, you get a pistol up your nose when she answers the door.
Yeah, that's her. So, she's living with her, husband, then?
Not that I noticed.
Huh. Must be laying low.
Just that boy of hers.
She's got a son? How old would you say? Like a little boy? Nah, just curious.
Oh, I couldn't say. It's been years. He must be a young man by now.
Wow, that's something. Well, thanks for your help.
Don't you want to know where to find her?
Yeah, I was just about to ask.
She's in Hasongo, last I heard. Got a little plot of land out there.
I guess we'll look that way then. Much obliged.
May Aethys's light shine upon you.
Hey, you know how I've been saying there's nothing more important to me than us freeing you from Bareth's bonds? Well, I meant that. I did. But there's this other thing I need to see about. On the way, like. I was gonna tell you. Thanks. I'm not sure I could anyway. This woman, well, love's not the right word, but she was something to me once, back in Gilded Vale. When I was mayor of Deerford, I had this vision of what I wanted it to look like. It was gonna be what Gilded Vale was, before the legacy. And in some ways it got there. I was proud of that. But it didn't feel like I thought it would. Come to realize there was someone I needed to show it to. Ilava. She'd have been about the last person left in Deerwood who'd have seen what I made and understood. Last I saw her, she was going to New Hayamar. Went looking for her there, only to find that she'd left a long time ago. Anyway, I don't expect you to understand, but I gotta know she ended up all right. Yeah, that's something. Coming out of Deerwood during that time. When I knew her, she had another little boy, just a baby. But the legacy deprived him of a proper life. I never found out what happened to him. But with the Hollowborn, he didn't have to ask. Guess he got a brother, though. No, but I don't see a way to let this go. Least a way's not now. Last time I saw Ilava, we got friendly. Now she's got a son.
I can deal with the dreams, for better or worse. What makes me sweat is the not knowing. What happens when I stand face to face with my God, and he reveals what he intends for me? What if it's not as I thought?
Yeah, I've had thoughts like that for a long time. Except now I'm worried about what he intends for the world.
Whatever it might be, at least we'll face it together. That would be a no.
Good day, traveler. I see you've taken an eye to my instruments. If you've any interest in the medical sciences, you need only ask. Well then, questions? I'm a researcher in the medical sciences. And before you ask, no, I don't mean animancy. Neither do I mean magic, nor, gods forbid, necromancy. Medicine. Study of the kith body, its inner workings and such. I've misgivings about magic use. It's useful, I'll grant you that. But it's a crutch. Stunts our scientific development, you understand. Makes me a bit unpopular, as you can no doubt imagine, which is why I've got this arquebus here. A patient of mine died under questionable circumstances. One morning they were fine, and the next they were dead. Someone is trying to discredit my work, I just know it. But they won't succeed. I came here to the archipelago to evade my rival's attempts at sabotage. And there certainly is quite a lot of work in the Deadfire, I must tell you. Watch your step.
Be welcome. We gather to honor the goddess, for we must earn the strength to endure the darkest of life's battles. Akira, rain and wind is a better teacher than any priest. A fighter accustomed to comfort earns only bruises. Each obstacle is a challenge we must answer. These are whetstones that sharpen us into fine blades. It is an opportunity to learn. What good is a fighter who knows how to defend against a single enemy? If we must one day fight one another, such is Magran's will. Muhai? Muhai has broken with Wahana. The Queen has forbade that any should have contact with her. Akira? She would be banished to the Undercity if not for her sickness. And now that has finished her.
The sharing of resources among the tribe. For what do we let the Mataru rule us, if not to dispense Wahana in fairness?
A group of the Wapua came to seek Muhai's counsel, for she was known as a great navigator. Muhai was of the Oweki before she came to Neketaka. The Oweki and Wapua were enemies for many years, before Queen Onekaza's time. Muhai misled the hunting party, and they were lost. All of us are Kahanga now. To harm Wapua is to harm Oweki. As Muhai turned her back upon her kin, so we were commanded to turn ours upon her. The Queen would have us join our tribes into one raised fist. She could not let Muhai's crime stand. There are those who kill by sword and those who kill by cunning. To the dead, it makes no difference. I say it was done for the good of our people. The traitors, they make war upon themselves. Each dousing another's flame, they are reduced to embers. So too did she act on her own, against her own people. She does not deserve the honor of walking with the gods. It is good of you to care so for one of our people. Come, give me the body. I will bury her beyond the great city walls. It is the best that I can do. You are not of the Kahanga tribe. For what do you do this? And I as well. Muhai has brought great sorrow upon herself. I will do as promised. Thank you, outsider. The Wapua have their justice, and the Queen's law stands. You have done the right thing.
I hear your talk. Who has turned your heart against me? The priest? Has he forgotten who we were? Never before would a member of the Oweki have been left to die alone. I upheld my tribe's honor, and for that I was abandoned. Left to waste away, to hobble around my home with only maps for company. Now I will be buried like a secret, never to know Magran's favor. Bereth will claim you in time, and I will be here, Watcher. I wait for you on this side.
Already on it.
consider it done.
Supplies! Get your supplies here!
Hello, Watcher. Fancy a look at the stock? Straight from the laboratory. Have a look.
Payment for heads. It could be no sin. Tell me, are you someone who walks the path that coin lays out before you? Transmuting actions into payment is the alchemy that orders our world. All things turn on the axis of a coin bond. I pay bounties so that death can bring order to life. Would you help me continue the cycle? If you would forge a coin bond, I know of people on these islands who must die. Their fate is already decided. The coin wishes only to collect. Dugra the Ascetic is wanted for crimes against his monastic order. His people have made a coin bond for his death. The Orlan wanders the wilderness on the island of Crookspur, northwest of Nekataka.
Not a problem.
You don't mind if I talk and work, do you? What can I do for you? Not the coziest place for it, is it? But the open air, the lightning specifically, is a boon. Lets our mages have a rest now and then. Good test of the equipment too. We're working on making it less delicate. Our junior researchers are still a little soft. Glad you asked, amico. Very glad. We're very excited about the work here, and we are always looking for volunteers. We've catalogued a number of interesting properties unique to Luminous Adra, but there are some very specific qualities we are investigating. Qualities that a Watcher happens to be uniquely suited to exploring. You're just what we're missing. No. Well, yes, what isn't, but not exceptionally dangerous. Luminous Adra has special effects upon Keith. Even to the humblest, it offers some small improvements. Rejuvenation, vitality, the kind of thing you sell to people back home, ne? But what about those who have already harnessed their own essence? Consider the talented cutpurse, for instance, who can cross a room by slipping briefly into another place. The world between. Luminous Adra holds enormous quantities of essence, the kind of energy we can't replicate or restore. And these formations have a kind of connection to each other across the in-between. I believe we can harness this connection and your natural abilities to transport a person across great distances in a moment. Oh, good. You've done some experimenting on your own. A curious mind is a happy mind, I say. Can't mope about ghosts all day. We've collected a number of illuminating readings, and our machines are ready to harness the Adra's essence. But for the moment, we are effectively blind when it comes to targeting the next pillar. Now, if someone were capable of sensing that essence in the in-between, even of manipulating it, someone like a watcher, for instance. Precisely right. We've had luck with shorter jumps, but those were as much spellcraft as science. The idea is for you to focus on the next connection point. The machine will use that new link between the Adra veins to create a tether, as well as provide the energy for you to jump effectively. What's really exciting is, so long as you are holding that connection open, your companions can jump alongside you.
And there's no risk I'll show up missing limbs or nothing?
The next pillar's due east of here, in the middle of a farm. It's not as tall as this one, but you shouldn't have any trouble finding it. Oh, and don't worry. We paid the farmers. We'll get everything ready for you.
Merla. Burned. Well, that won't do it all.
Already on it.
Hello. My apologies. I didn't see you there. Didn't you? I, like the other scholars here, am engaged in the study of the soul sciences. Was there something you needed, or may I return to my studies? Indeed. I apologize if you find the sight of blood unsettling. Though, from your appearance, I would expect you to be well acquainted with it. In any case, why are you here? It is a mundane story. I sought out the ship with the longest oversea route departing from the Republics and booked passage. I had intended to perform a handful of experiments regarding the nature of souls that could only be done safely at sea. The sensitive kind. My experiments were successful, and the ship eventually reached its destination. The rest is inconsequential. Just a bit of culture I've picked up along the way. I admire their tailoring tradition immensely. It's much grander than clothing one finds in The White That Wends. I am, of course. A curious mind is an agile mind. Besides, the two practices are more alike than one might think. Both deal in the details in the warp and the weft. A delicate hand is required if one is to bend either to one's will. Many things. Currently, an unusual variety of Adra. It seems to exist only here, among the isles and waters of the Deadfire. There's a strange, almost melancholy beauty to the substance. I believe there is more to it than others know. If you insist. With the aid of a device of copper and Adra, I have uncoupled my soul from my body, freeing myself of Bareth's wheel. I belong only to myself now. My body and soul are my own. Why should I not do with them as I wish? Who are you to say? How so? Truly. Tell me, what do you see when you peer into the souls of Kith? Do you see their misdeeds? Their evil thoughts? Their unkindnesses, perversions, cruelties? I apologize. I have always felt a kinship with your kind. Having witnessed the very worst in Kith has left me keenly attuned to recognizing ill intent. Perhaps you would be amenable to me traveling with you on something of a permanent basis? I have a vested interest in Luminous Audra, but acquiring it here can be expensive. You have a ship of your own and are clearly well-traveled. I suspect I would encounter more Luminous Audra with you than I would on the streets of Nekataka. Truly?
How could we possibly live to regret this? No, I'm actually curious.
Thaklat, traveler. I am grateful. I have all that I need. You may depart at your leisure.
Not a problem.
So you defeated this ship-devouring beast all by yourself?
I'm telling you, you just have to aim for the eyes.
Come closer to the altar. Come inside. The temple welcomes all to worship, most especially you. I ask only for no talking. Not until we pay our respects to Bereth, to Rikuhu. Let us pray.
Silent prayer? Where are the songs, I say? Did you learn this from Valians?
Again, I ask that you please fall silent for prayer. Deity of life and death, the endless devourer who encompasses all existence, hear this prayer, this voice chiming. I beseech you, Kohopa and Tangaloa, to ready this shell for sucking. Purify my soul in preparation for the coming of the next cycle. Digest all of my devotion. Swallow my sorrows, even the smallest swell, so I can be spit on the morrow. And Rikuhu, Bereth, my god and goddess both, the eels that churn in ceaseless cycle, the new and the next, and blessed be and jubilations. All right. I will address your inquiries, best as I can. So ask. The same. Your word, Bereth. Our word, Rikuhu. We worship the twin deal. The cyclic connection of the overworld and the underworld. Life and death. Life is Kohopa, and Tangaloa is death. Born starving, they devoured all living things, swelling larger each. When they'd swallowed all of existence, they tried to eat each other next. Now all things pass through their entrails. The end of one enters the mouth of the next, from the underworld to the overworld and back. Again and again. Under the temple, carved in the mountain's caverns, lies an extraordinary maze of catacombs. So I've read. They're the hanging sepulchres, burial place for ancient Wana chieftains. The bodies are protected by Bereth's best, roaming, always, plus the ways sealed by the deity itself. Liturgies, instructions for ritual preparations, when and how, sermons, some histories, too. All of this, it's our knowledge has gleaned through centuries of service. Now, I've got to leave it all behind for the next disciple. Better. The timing's getting tighter. And there is one thing before the end. Something only one touched by Bereth can do. Drafts mercurial. Getting my heart cut out's going to kill me. When the time's right. I know you do. My eels, my infinity coil keeps rattling, pendants resonating with your chime. coil resonates, but it's weak. You could unseal the way, but you'd die inside, I think. My chance would be lost then. Lost with your remains. Not just anyone can escape the hanging sepulchres. Alive. My time's waning fast. Right you are on that. I'd best not let this chance pass. There's a sacred text. The eulogy to Stair. It's been buried in the catacombs beneath the temple for centuries, next to his champions. I need it. Of course, the tombs, they only open to the dead, or those bearing Bereth's chime. It never was added to the tomes, but it holds the final clues for my death. It's my best chance. I prayed for decades, night to day and night again. Now, here you are, just in time. Means Bereth sent you to see to my success. I'll tell you what I can. He's no Juana, nor a death godlike neither, but he was a high priest of Bereth. His hair was a Diran, a hunter, chasing the undead 200 years ago. Read somewhere, one tome, he sailed to the Deadfire for a weapon, abhorrent to Bereth. Said the blade held a power most fearful. Stair fought hard for it, won the blade, but suffered grievous wounds. Bereth kept him alive till he could make it to the temple's catacombs. His champions were the ones who wrote his eulogy. Later, they were buried in the sepulchres too. They're from the long-forgotten time, when there was only Juana living in the mountain. They got carved in even before the temple sprung up. Before there was Nekataka or a queen. They're well guarded, because not all of Bereth's dead like the rest in their graves. You've got to go outside, on the lower walkway. Doors sealed up tight, though. Priests before me, all death godlikes could open it. Door requires a coil, resonating with Bereth's chime. But I haven't met a death godlike in my time. All right. But there's something you've got to know. Or I guess I've just got to say. You're my best chance. Or only, maybe. Take the coil. It'll open the crypts. Bring me Stair's eulogy, and I'll teach you all I know of Bereth's arcana. The dead with their souls, they roam still. The ones who were chosen by Bereth. Not everyone's born so blessed. Sometimes, instead, you've got to die for it. End of the turn. I'm nearing it. Been working hard, preparing for weeks. You know, to die. But first, I've got to leave guidance for my apprentice, the next in the cycle, chosen to lead. Been wasting away for months. Can't say it's been easy, dying so soon. I thought about stopping a few times. Maybe you can see. I'm no death godlike. Ereth bestowed not one in my generation with a chime. Not the next, neither. A flawed messenger like me can't open the crypts. So my best chance is to die.